All right, welcome to the Explainer. So, let's be real. If you've ever built anything for the internet, you've probably asked yourself this one huge question. In this absolute ocean of information, how does anyone ever find you?
Think about it. The internet is just this massive, chaotic, ever-growing library. And just having a website, well, that's not enough. You need a way for people to actually find your specific little corner. So how in the world does that even happen?
Yeah, because you're not just up against a couple of competitors, you're up against, well, more than 1.1 billion other websites. That's a staggering number. It's a huge discovery problem, right? Because a site without visitors, it's like a book that just sits on a shelf and never gets read. Okay, so to solve all this chaos, we've got search engines, like Google. They're basically the world's librarians. Their job is to sort through, well, everything to find the very best answers. And SEO, search engine optimization, that's how you talk to those librarians. It's how you get them to pull your book off the shelf and recommend it. So what is SEO at its core? Let's just get a really clear definition here. It is not some kind of dark magic or secret code. Nope. It's simply a set of practices, things you do to improve how your site shows up in what we call organic search results. The whole goal is to line up what you've built with what search engines and, more importantly, what their users are actually looking for.
All right, so to make this whole thing manageable, the entire world of SEO is basically built on three fundamental pillars. You can think of them as the foundation, the walls, and the roof of your online house. And here they are. We've got on-page SEO, off-page SEO, and technical SEO. So what do they mean? Well, one is about the content on your site. The next is about your site's reputation across the web. And the last one is about the quality of its bones, its structure. They absolutely have to work together. So let's break them down. Okay, so these first two, on-page and off-page, they represent two totally different arenas. On-page is all the stuff you can directly control. The words you write, the content, the structure of your pages. But off-page, that's about what other people think of you. It's all about your reputation and your authority out there on the wider internet.
So let's dive into on-page SEO. This is really all about quality and clarity. You got to ask yourself, is my title super clear? Is the content itself well-structured and actually useful? Are we using the right keywords, but naturally, not just stuffing them in there like crazy? At the end of the day, it's about this. Is the experience good for the human being who lands on your site?
All right, let's talk about that next pillar, off-page SEO. You can think of this as your website's street cred. The biggest, most powerful factor here, it's something called backlinks. Basically, when another respected site links to you, it's like they're giving you a vote of confidence. They're telling the search engines, hey, you can trust this site. It's legit and it's valuable.
And that brings us to the third pillar, the real foundation of the house, technical SEO. This is all the stuff that happens behind the scenes. Does your site load fast? Does it look good and work well on a phone? Can the search engines' little robots, their crawlers, can they easily find and understand every single page? Because let me tell you, if those crawlers can't even read your site, then nothing else we've talked about even matters.
Okay, but here's the catch. You can't just do all this once and walk away. SEO is a constantly moving target. Why? Because the biggest player in the game, Google, is always updating its system to try and give people better results.
And this timeline, this really shows the big turning point. Back in the early 2010s, Google rolled out these huge updates. You might have heard of them, Panda, Penguin, and Hummingbird. And they were basically a declaration of war against sites that were trying to cheat the system. This started a long shift toward rewarding real quality and truly understanding what a user wants. And that shift, it defines everything about how we do SEO today.
And what this all comes down to is this one crucial point. Google has one and only one obsession, keeping its users happy. If they send someone to your site and that person is satisfied, they find what they were looking for, they have a good experience, well, that's a win for Google. And if you help Google win, you win. It's that simple.
So all of this history, all these updates, these three pillars, it all boils down to one simple, incredibly powerful idea that should guide every single thing you do with SEO. You see, the game has completely changed. The old way, what some people call black hat SEO, that was all about trying to trick the algorithm, right? Finding loopholes, stuffing keywords, getting spammy links. But modern white hat SEO, it's the total opposite. It's about working with the search engine by creating the absolute best experience for the person on the other side of that screen. And here it is. This is the golden rule. If you take away literally nothing else from this explainer, please remember this. Create for humans first, and for algorithms second. Write for people, design for people. Create genuine value for people. If you do that consistently and with real heart, the algorithms are built to find you and to reward you for it.
And that leaves us with one final big question for the future. As search itself is transformed by AI, as it becomes less about typing keywords and more about having conversations, is that core principle, focusing on human value, going to become even more important? Is the future of being found less about pleasing a machine and more about having a really good conversation?